without further ado, we got another speaker. And what's very kind of interesting tonight is that those two speakers have actually just began pathways, and they're with the first speech after the icebreaker. That means that they can talk about whatever they want. Marius will talk will talk about sparks of insanity. What it is, we'll find out in a minute. Sparks of insanity, Marius.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. It was a pleasure to be introduced here actually on the stage, because we all have a bit of insanity in our lives, in our minds, whatever. Well, I got to say that I've been going throughout my life always having relationships. I've been having not only one relationship at a time, if you can imagine this. However, I cannot say that I ever been more than monogam. Weird, right? How can somebody be having multiple relationships, however not be yet a polygam guy, right? Well, let's see. Even before I was talking and walking, I already had a very nice relationship with a little bed I was actually growing in. We had the ups and downs. I was falling off it. I was sleeping like a king in it, even with my finger in my mouth sometimes, right? Sometimes even more than one finger. It was amazing. However, I actually had to kind of break up with my little bed when I grew up a little more and my parents bought me a couch. It happens. Right. Well, I grew up a little more. I started walking. I started talking. So the world opened up a little bit more to me. And I had the chance to fall into new relationships. I was falling in love with new toys, more interesting ones. And can you imagine that I started even experiencing new things in these relationships? I started getting bored, even faster than the time that my parents went to even buy them from the cash desk, right? Oh my God, what a time, what a time. Well, actually, when I started even walking and talking, something else happened. I started having some different kind of relationships. The relationships with my neighbors. I had very interesting, let's call it, experience with them, because I started hating and loving them every 5 minutes, which was kind of interesting for me to experience new stuff. I'm not going to talk to you about how I was kissing my first girl when I was just first grade in school, or how I fell in love for the first time when I was in the 8th grade. That would be kind of boring. But I have to tell that in time I started growing more into experiencing more relationships with people than things, which for me was an interesting thing actually, because during this time I started finding people which started being like friends and haters. We're not going to talk about haters because they are too boring anyway. But how about friends? Well, friends are actually an infinite source for things that I am coming here on the stage to actually tell you about. For example, right now I have a couple of friends. They keep inviting me from time to time to play some games with them, like game boards, or having some fun by talking, watching some movies or anything, but mostly game boards. And this couple, the lady actually, is like, like a mercury in a pound. It's always like moving all the time, talking all the time. You cannot stop her talking. She's talking so fast. It's amazing. It's impossible to even break her. You are praying that at some point, come on, breathe, so I can interrupt you with at least a half of a small syllable or something. No, with her it's not possible. But I found her secret. Guess what? She's exactly like a rechargeable battery. Once you see the regular batteries, the alkaline ones, right? You put them in the device and they already start discharging slowly. And the power keeps going down until they are completely dry. Rechargeable ones, they are working continuously at maximum power. And all of a sudden, when they are almost dead, they go like, you can see her almost falling asleep in the chair playing games with us. She goes like, having cards in her hand, goes like, 2, 4, 6. 2, 4. And she does this a few more times, and at the end of it, she goes like, okay, whose turn is it? And me and her boyfriend are laughing like crazy because we are already waiting for her turn to finish for over 5 minutes, right? You can imagine. This is how she does it. And for us, it's funny. I had the opportunity coming here in Czech Republic to actually meet a big variety of people. And when I say big variety, I mean like where they are coming from. I meet people from Asia, like East Asia, like for example from India, from China, Balkans, come on, Romanians, Greeks, Bulgarians. Actually, the lady I was talking to you about was Bulgarian. I even met Africans, I met Americans, I met all kinds of Europeans, because actually here we have quite a big mix, right? It was fantastic. But to be honest, the most impressive kind of people that I really love to hang out with are the Arab people. I have some Egyptian friends, I have some Iraqi friends. And I don't know if you know this, but in the Arabic language, they do not have the letter P. Reason why, they replace it with letter B. Guess what? All the words in English are going to sound way different than the words that you are used to here. For example, every time I want to go to work, I'm trying to park the car, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, we have this coincidence that they are in the parking lot ahead of me, barking their car first. But they are very nice people, okay? Every time I go visit them, they know that I do not like some certain drinks and I like some other kinds. However, they keep offering me Bebzi, okay? Well, this is the kind of relationships that make me feel fantastic living day after day. And yet, if you can imagine, the most important relationship that I really care about is not with any of these kind of people, but with a very lovely lady from Israel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mario, and come back on stage.
No.
I'll keep you here imprisoned for 1 more minute as our timekeeper measures the time for a Q&A session. Questions from the audience?
I'd like to ask you here in the Czech Republic, do you have more Romanian friends or non-Romanian friends?
More non-Romanian friends.
Are you a hater? Is that why?
Of course not. I'm not a hater. It's just that I, you know, like roulette. You know, not Romanian. Sorry. Next time. There you go. Any other question?
One more question from Zdeněk.
How can first kiss be boring?
I didn't say it's boring. I said I'm not going to talk to you about it.
So it wasn't memorable.
So maybe next time. We are out of time,
I guess.
I guess, as well. If not, then let me. There we are. Thank you.